volume is low. Let me see if I can get it up. Are you hearing me better now? Let me see if I can rotate the device and put on my mic. So, okay, so you hear me better now? All right, so why women must submit is a very topic. As soon as women hear the term submission, it sends some signals to a woman's brain. It really affects them negatively, not necessarily because women have experienced something bad. By the way, guys, if you're not hearing me, let me know so I can make the adjustments. If you are hearing me, also let me know, please, so I will be able to continue and know that you hear me. And while I'm speaking and you have any questions, I would entertain them while I'm talking. I'll be seeing what you're saying. However, what I don't want is tonight we are talking about women, and there's a tendency for whenever a man is talking about women tend to ask, what about the men? We are not talking about men tonight. However, we will be talking about men in relation to women. So please, let us just stick with women tonight, and I will speak on men soon, or maybe next Monday, and I will speak on why men must lead. Okay, so we are talking right now about why women must submit. And I did not use the word, what do you mean tune in, Renoir? Reginald, let me know what you mean by that. Yes, so I get you. So I didn't say women should submit, I said women must. And the reason I use such a strong phrase is because, simply put, women must. If women intend to live in a society where men and women must exist, women must submit. And what happens is we have a number of women activists now, and what they're asking for is equality. So let me make this point very clear. And I am waiting for someone to challenge this statement. Equality between men and women is not going to get any better than it is now. In other words, women has leveled off the amount of equality that they're going to get in this world. And I will go so far to say it's not necessarily true because men are trying to avoid it. The majority of women in this world do not seek the equality that a few want. And so what happens is that a few women are speaking as if the majority of women are asking for that equality, that gender equality. Now we have a divide where not every woman that is seeking equality is seeking the same equality or independence. So when a woman says, I'm an independent woman, they all don't really mean the same thing. In fact, most women are simply stating that I am an independent woman financially. End of story. And the majority of women who are truly independent don't go around saying that they are independent. You see? So, having said that, the point I'm making is very few women actually think that they are independent. Now, if we go on the discussion of independent women, most women, or I should say women on the whole, are not built to be independent. So as long as a woman is striving to be an independent woman, she is moving away from being a woman or womanhood. What you find now, and I know this because I speak to people on a daily basis, is that women who seek to be independent women are either not in relationships, is not able to keep a man interested, or is in a relationship with a man who can't and will not, and if he can, he will not choose to lead her. And the reason for that is a woman who is independent, who strives to be independent, has shut off a huge part of her womanhood. In other words, independence is masculine and interdependency is feminine. In other words, a woman is about love and how a man makes her feel, and a man is about how a woman makes him feel and his purpose. As a matter of fact, his purpose first. So a woman that is striving for a purpose is not number one in her life. A man's purpose is number one. So a man can't be happy if he's not on his purpose. And that is why I posted earlier, the number of men who are suicidal, who are on the streets, who are in prison, etc., is way higher than women. And it's because most men aren't on their purpose and they feel disconnected in life. It causes confusion because of the high levels of testosterone a man has, 10 times more than a woman. What happens is that, and he uses mainly the amygdala, and a woman she actually uses 3 different parts of a brain. That is why women are able to multitask and a man is not able to. So she uses the prefrontal cortex and the insula and stuff and the PCC, and a man mainly focuses on the amygdala. So that's why when both parties are actually stimulated by fear or fright or flight syndrome, what happens? His brain disconnects from his emotional sides. So a man is rarely able to feel the degree of empathy that a woman is able to. Okay? And so we actually think differently. A man cannot multitask and a woman can. And I'm going into this depth because I want to create a foundation to show the difference between men and women. And so I said all that is to indicate that why a woman must submit is a woman is based on how a man makes her feel. Let me give you an example. If a man is a stay-at-home dad, which should never be, I don't care what the scenario is at home, a woman is actually damaging herself by agreeing to a man being a stay-at-home dad, and she works because she's able to bring in more money. And let me give you an example why. If a woman goes out to work and as the breadwinner of the family and he stays home, and she comes home and he says, I'm sorry, hon, I wasn't able to cook dinner. I went out to Lime with Reginald and Jeff today, and we played some video games and we bought some shoes. I bought some rims for the car and stuff. And I'm so happy that my wife works and is able to have us afford the luxury that we have. And so, having said that, is it okay that you can take us to get something to eat, myself and the kids, for dinner? Guys, we all know it. And I would love to see a woman tell me now she is not going to feel a huge degree of resentment to that man who made that statement to her. Now, let's flip the script. The wife is home, the man works, and he comes home, and there's nothing to eat, and he's upset, or he starts to get upset that there's nothing to eat, and his wife was out all day. If she walks up to him and says, babe, hi, sorry, I didn't cook dinner tonight. I was out with Judy and Rose. We bought some stuff and we had lunch. And so I was not able to cook dinner because I had a long day. And I just want to say to you that I love you and I'm happy that you work as hard as you do. I appreciate it. And is it okay that I ask that let's go to have dinner out tonight? Can we take the kids and I to have dinner? Ask any man the same exact scenario. He actually is now motivated because there is a hormone called vasopressin that is stimulated in his bloodstream. It's a peer bonding hormone. he feels worthy and he feels wanted. And ask any man, as long as his wife is happy, he is motivated and he's happy. So the anger that he just came home and felt is now disappeared. His testosterone level raises and viapersin comes in his bloodstream. He is now happy and wants to continue to make her happy. I painted the exact same picture for both genders, and we see that it's never going to feel the same from a woman's vantage point to a man. And that is why I keep saying, when women are having the discussion of both parties should decide how they want to do this and do that at home, we are not gender intelligent. So we don't understand what really affects us when we agree to stuff that we should not agree to. Men and women are not the same, and we will never really be the same. For a woman to be happy, truly happy, she must submit to a man. Submission does not mean that he's going to beat her tire with a chain, say do this, do that, do whatever I say, etc., etc. What she is going to agree to is simply that my man is the one that is going to be leading me. You see, the minute a woman decides to allow a man to lead her, allow him to lead her, her estrogen levels go up and her testosterone decreases. Her stress also decreases because he makes her feel a particular way. And the women who are able to submit to their men are able to have a greater sex life and continues to be attracted to their partner. And I've heard women say this a lot of times, that I will only submit to a man who I respect, who can lead. So let me say this, guys. Let me say this. Most women aren't the type of woman that a man wants to lead. It's woman's hypergamy that makes women of the view that every man wants to lead them. Most women do not have any value outside of their physical. If you take, and what I find so interesting, because I speak to women every day, is one of the first things women tend to want to remove from a relationship if something goes bad is sex. Sleep on the couch, no sex. And most women don't understand, when they remove sex, there is nothing else that they actually have that is valuable to a man. There are very few women who are able to stimulate a man outside of sex. And that is why as soon as most women get older and they put on a little weight on their body, the man's polarity for her, she has no value for him anymore. I don't care how many kids. You see, you hear them say, I love my kids and I want my kids, etc., etc. That polarity and that attraction that he had for her, both mentally, and because what happens a lot of times too is when a woman meets a man, she's into how he makes her feel. He's based on what he sees. And after that, as she unravels, after that 90-day period, he's getting to see how she looks without makeup, what she's bringing to the table, how she makes him feel. And I tell you something, most women, if they're honest, they're going to admit that it has happened to them. As soon as a man has had sex with them, the intensity of the relationship dissipates. And it's simply because all that you and that man had is a sexual connection. Outside of that, there was nothing really. I also hear a lot of women say that no matter what they do for men, men are going to cheat and men are going to horn them. That is not the truth as well. Men do not horn and cheat on women to who they feel respected, to who they feel accepted by, and who they feel that they can trust to be vulnerable with. Men are logical thinkers. Women are speaking from that vantage point because they are speaking from how they feel about scenarios. Women are emotional, so whatever a woman tells you now is not what she actually means or feels. So if a woman says to you, I love you now, understand that she's simply saying, I love you now. It doesn't mean she loves you holistically. or all the time. There are few women, and we call them unicorns, which is between a 1 and a 3% type of woman, who is able to really actually love a man. Most women love how a man makes them feel. When you look at the 53% of the divorces, 75% of them are requested by women. 90% of the time, why are the women asking for a divorce is because she is not happy. Happiness is linked directly to how I feel. He's not making me feel happy. And so women are about how they feel at the time. And they don't admit it, but that's the fact. Women, to be happy, must submit. And the point is, most women will not submit because they were taught, they grew up in a world where they are taught to be very masculine. The reason older men leave older women and seek a younger woman is because the masculinity within that younger woman is not as high as it is for a woman in her 30s. So a girl who's 18 to 25, for example, is not as masculine as a woman who's 30 to 35. When she gets to that age, woman's hypergamy starts to tell her that she has a different value. She is worth more than men. She is the same as men, etc. The truth of the matter is, and I can say this, and I'm looking at the comments because I'm waiting to see a woman comment on what I'm saying. A woman comment on what I'm saying is, the fact is, men are superior to women. Yeah, and I'm going to pause a little bit because I want that statement to soak in a little bit, because most women are going to internalize what I just said as something other than what I just said. So I'm going to repeat it. Men are superior to women. Now, I did not just say men are better than women or men are more valuable than women. I said men are superior to women. So when a man is with a woman, he has to be able to protect his family, protect her emotions, because again, as I speak, I am just waiting. Women say a lot of things when I'm posting videos every day. Now is your time. I would like to hear one of you say something so that I can deal with whatever you're going to say one time and give examples of what you're going to say against what I'm saying doesn't stand. Now is the time that you can speak, because I know I'm seeing a lot of you who actually speak every day when I post stuff. Speak now. Say something. Women are not inferior to men, but men are superior to women. So you see, I did not say that women aren't worth anything. You see, women aren't inferior, but to a man, she is inferior. Men are superior. And let me give an example. If we have two basketballers, and both of them are 6'6", and they both can shoot a three-pointer, right? Go ahead, Catherine. Ask the comment. Don't just say what. Ask the question or make a statement so I can understand and I could respond. And both can shoot three-pointer, and both can defend at the same level. But one of them has a better ball handling than the other. Are they the same? Will they be paid the same by the NBA? And will their ranking and rating be the same by the NBA? If one is only better by able to handle the ball, to dribble the ball, and that will, of course, be responsible for what carries the team, isn't that person superior to the other? Or are they the same? And if they are the same, then why is the NBA going to pay one more, rate one higher, and have more regards for the other one, and in fact may actually put him to be a starter on the team, simply because all he has over the other one is better ball handling? We see it every day. in basketball or football or whatever sport it is. So what I'm saying has to be the truth. So if it isn't, women can speak now. Let me know what you're saying. And the point I'm making is, when a woman decides to submit, let me tell you something, women, ladies. This world that you're living in is always going to challenge you because you're a woman not living as a woman. Because women have the tendency to want to act as a man when the man is not acting. Let me tell you why most men aren't going to act. Most men aren't going to lead. For these are the reasons. One, and I'm saying this because it's a fact. I have had these conversations with women all the time, and there are some I'm seeing online right now who have said these things to me and agreed. Women tend to get lazy when they get into relationships. Women are hypergamy again because, and trust me, I've heard women say this in conversations, not knowing that I'm a coach or anything. I already have my man. I don't need to do all of that. I've also heard women say that he has a responsibility to stay with me simply because I have his children. So I look this way because I made 2 children. Now we all know people who have had children and look actually better than they did before they had it. But women have the idea that because I have had a child, that however I look, he has to accept it. A man should be able to accept that your breast is not going to be the same. Outside of that, what is the real thing? What else should he really accept? Women are supposed to gain just about 20 pounds when they are pregnant. I've seen women put on 70 pounds, 80 pounds, 100 pounds when they're pregnant in just 9 months. Do the calculations and see it's about 10 pounds a month, and you keep gaining. What were you trying to feed when you were pregnant? Couldn't be an elephant. What were you trying to feed? And then when the child is born, you didn't lose the weight. And he's supposed to love you because you had his child and put on all of that weight. That's woman hypergamy talking there. And they feel that man is just supposed to be okay with that. That's not what he meant. The difference is, and I know some women, it's scratching some women's mouth to say, but what about the men who put on weight? Now, I've spoken about men with big bellies from the go without having a child. You didn't make a child, so your belly shouldn't be big. However, women do not seek a man based on his looks mainly. Women seek a man based on his status and what he's able to bring to the relationship from a value standpoint, being able to provide. What is he providing for the relationship? So women goes on that. They would like to have an alpha male to have a dominant offspring, or the highest quality offspring that she can have. Men go based on what they see. A man's attraction is based on what he sees. He can fall or decide to be in love immediately. A woman, on the other hand, chooses to be with a man based on how he makes her feel. And mind you, during that dating process, there is something called the female assassin, which is a subconscious part of that woman that is just waiting to find something wrong with him. So as I said before, if a man goes out on a date and he has on a fake beard and part of his beard on sticks, that woman is not going to go out with that man again. Most times, she is not going to decide to see him again, simply because he had on a fake beard. But if a man goes out with a woman and part of one of her braid strands fall out, as happened with me, it's something to just laugh about, and that's nothing to a man. But that same woman, if she finds out on the next date that the beard that she saw the man with is unsticking and it's fake, She doesn't want to be with him. That exact woman who that man had no issue with when that braid fall out before. Or when he realized that the eyebrow is 90% eyebrow pencil and 10% eyebrow from your actual eyebrow. Or to understand that you put on a set of what we call foundation or whatever on your face to hide the pimples and the buttons. He is still not going to be depolarized with all of that. But the minute you see his beard unsticking, or he had on a fake hair piece on his head because he's bald, you don't want to go out with him again. That female assassin. You see, so it's a difference between men and women. When you look at what a woman is turned on by and what a man is turned on by, it's not the same. A man must lead. And let me tell you what is happening with women now and men. Men aren't going to lead. Simply because what is happening now is men, and why I said before that women's equality has reached the maximum. And by the way, and tomorrow night we'll be doing a live video, myself and Erica, and you can tune in. We're going to be talking about gender intelligence, and you will see what I'm talking about here, why I'm saying this tonight, and what my foundation is based on. Because we are gender foolish. We don't understand what happens with both genders, and because we think women could do anything, which they can't, we tend to not understand what should actually happen in a relationship. So we just think we got big, and however I feel is how it should be. Foolishness, and that's why happens in a relationship, and it ends. Marriages end so quickly. And so my point is, why men are not going to take women seriously anymore is because now men have seen what a woman's hypergamy is about. They don't trust to love women, because as soon as a man loves a woman, and this is a woman who is not a unicorn. And again, for those who just came on, a unicorn is someone who is a unique woman, who can actually love a man and will not cheat on him, who doesn't make decisions based on her feelings, because a woman loves a man based on how he makes her feel, not from his heart. A man can say, I love you now, and that can be what he feels throughout the entire year. For anyone who thinks that I'm not talking the truth, let me give examples, because I love to prove people wrong, and I'm surprised that more women aren't saying anything, because when I post videos all the time, I see women say things, and I'm shocked now that they are not saying anything. Speak, now is the time, because I want to be able to answer your questions live in front of everybody, for you to see women hypergamy. And the reason women challenge what I say as often as they do is simply because they think that they can challenge it just for so. I've seen women challenge what I say, and as soon as another woman says talking the truth, conversation ends. All argument ends. And you know why women challenge me? Let me tell you guys why. This is also research. For any woman who's there, think I'm just saying this for so again. Women challenge what I say most times because it's almost insane for any woman to decide or agree to be in a relationship with me and can think that when they come into that relationship with me, that I am going to think that we are both equal, or that she's going to be leading it, or that she's going to be an independent woman in a relationship. Every woman out there who interacts with me knows subconsciously I am that type of guy that you're not going to be able to push around. And so I'll tell you two things. One, the only how I can affect a woman emotionally is if she's attracted to me. Again, the only how I can attract a woman negatively or positively, emotionally, is if she's attracted to me. So, you see, when we go to school, and a young girl would say, I hate him. And then you really realize that she actually liked him. That goes straight into adulthood. A man cannot affect a woman emotionally unless there's polarity between both of them, like a magnet. Because that's what happened. There's male and female, and that's the polarity between the two. So when I affect a woman negatively, what is actually happening when I affect a woman negatively is she's so much in her masculine side that her feminine side finds me attractive. So that PCC, or that insular part of her brain that is larger than the males that she operates with, that is the foundation of her subconscious functions, is giving an indicator that I find him attractive. There is some polarity between you and I. But the masculine side, which is the part of where she's using part of her amygdala to make decisions, because she also has male tendencies. So her brain in growing up has been wired to think as a man in some vantage point. What actually happens there is that both of her subconscious functions are actually at enmity with each other. They're fighting with each other. And so she's now rejecting me because another part of her wants me. But the masculine, her masculine, is opposing my masculine. It's like what happens in any scenario in the jungle with animals where, or look at a dog, for example. You pass on the side of a road. What gets the dog most angry is when you look at him in his eyes, he feels that you're challenging him. Or it. Because there are some female dogs that act that way. So, and the smaller the dog, or the more the dog thinks that that it is inferior, is the louder that dog is going to be, or more aggressive. So if you look at poodles, for example, or Pompex, you would see that how aggressive they normally are. The reason that it is extremely aggressive because they have what we will call a small dog complex. Like what happens to short men or men who has an issue because of they have a height deficit. You see? And that is similar to what happens with women when she sees a man who is a man, who gives off that because my body language signals something in her subconscious. That is what happens. Now, should this woman ever come to her senses, understand gender intelligence, and go back into a feminine frame, you would see she's not going to oppose me like she was. In fact, now she'll find me stimulating to her because she realized this man can lead. She may be like, whoa. You see? And that is what happens when women are, and that happens in relationships, it happens with dating. So if you think about relationships, for example, you will see most women who are more masculine would cut their hair short and would have a man who is very silent, or she can lead most times. You see? So this is what happens in relationships. Yes, and I said cut the hair short. So for women who are not aware, or men who are not aware, just now look at all the women that you know who have cut the hair in what they call a man head or whatever. Look at their temperament. They're generally not feminine, and most of them, not all, most of them will not wear a lot of makeup or be as feminine, or a lot of skirts and stuff. You see? Now, there are two things that I said. So one would be that aspect, that she's attracted to me, but she's depolarized or whatever. The other reason why a woman is going to react when I'm speaking is because I'm calling her out. Now, one of the things that men complain about is that women are never wrong. So it's virtually impossible to tell a woman she's wrong, or try to show a woman that she's wrong when she's in the emotional side. Because she's in the emotional side, as I indicate, she uses three parts: the prefrontal cortex, the insula, and the PCC. She is totally emotional. Her brain is flooded from an emotional standpoint, and she lacks reason and logic. So her amygdala is not what she's using for logic. So what happens is that she's emotional. She, no matter, unless public God comes down and tell her she's wrong, she's not wrong. Men who are looking at what I'm saying or hear me will agree and understand what I'm talking about, even though she's actually wrong. This is what happens in with a woman when she gets emotional, when I'm speaking or saying something and you see she's acting up. So the reason, again, and I said all of what I said, and I'm giving all these examples to show that women need to be able to submit. If they really want to be happy, they really want a man to trust them and actually love them. Because if you don't submit, what's happening now is that men are understanding women's hypergamy and they're not trusting you in their relationship, and so men are putting on a mask. Both men and women. This is the part that I really wanted to mention tonight, that I really wanted to bring home. Both men and women put on masks when they meet. A woman would be with 20 partners, and if you ask her how many partners she was with, she's going to lie. The majority of women will never be honest in telling you how many partners. So if ever you're with a woman and she says, I'm with 7, 9 partners, it's reasonable for you to add 50% to 100% on the number she gave you, because that's how she's going to calculate or subtract from it. So if she tells you 9, then you know it's about 15 to 20 or 15 to 18 people. Her responsibility is to look more pure, more decent, more smaller, and more feminine than she actually is. Now, I don't understand why women are not submitting to men easily, because everything I've said so far shows that women actually do it. But when they're told that they should, or they fight against their own selves against actually submitting. Women, if they're honest, will admit that what I just said, that they lie about how many men they have actually slept with or had sex with. And I'm talking about a man performing oral on them, they performing oral on a man having full-blown intercourse. All of those are sex. And what most women do as well is, if someone performed oral on them or they and that person, when you're asking them how many partners they have had sexually, they don't include those guys, because it will be a huge number. So it probably will be about 40 now. And so they will exclude oral, and they will cut the actual partners in about 50%. The reason for this is, and there's a tendency whenever a man asks a woman how many partners you have slept with and how many, and women tend to want to know how many partners a man has slept with. It really doesn't matter to women how many partners he has slept with. What matters more, and I'm not saying they don't care about it, I'm saying it really does not significantly affect a woman's decision to stay with a man or not. In fact, a woman is more turned on by a man who is able to have more partners than not. So when if a guy says I've had 80 partners, she's concerned more with how healthy he is opposed to having 80 partners. A woman likes a man with value. If other women want him, so do I. I would want him more. In fact, if a woman friends like a guy and she didn't like him, and her friends see that guy and say, my goodness, are you crazy? She's going to like him now, because her friends just said, oh, he's a good catch. Chances are 90% and up, she's now going to like him. Especially if another friend says, if you don't like him, I want him, and makes a move, now she wants him even more. This is a woman. On the flip side, if a man knows that a woman has had many partners, it's a no-no. And the reason for that is, in what we call our reptilian brain, because we have 3 different brains that we operate with. In what we call the reptilian brain, which is the oldest part of our brain, which is where our DNA and our coding we're still using. That's why women still really want men to take them out to dinner and these things, because while women are striving to have equality, they are also striving to keep the things of the past, so the old, alive. So my point in saying that is, we're still using our old part of the brain, and so we know subconsciously that the more partners a woman has or have had in her lifetime, is the more chaotic that relationship can be. Because every man she has slept with leaves part of him with her. And that child that's going to come out that may be yours when you do a DNA test can have more characteristics of a man that she has been with for 5 years. So people may laugh at it, but I look at a lot of Jerry Springer and marriage courts and divorce courts and paternity court and Maury, because those are the people that people frown against, but that's society. And how many times have you looked at Maury, for example, and you can look at the image and see that this child really looks like the guy that she has been with for 5 years, and then the guy who she has been with just one time is the father, but that child really looks like the other guy. So the DNA will show that that's the father, but his characteristics and a lot of his features and everything is going to be like the other guy. And that's because every time a guy has sex with a woman, she keeps his DNA. She's a receiver. The man, on the other hand, is a giver. A man can actually repopulate the entire earth in 2 to 3 weeks, if allowed to. A man is unlimited. A woman is limited, in that we're built differently. And all I'm saying here is just to indicate why women should submit, because we are not the same. So what is actually happening is, a man, for example, can populate the entire world in 2-3 weeks. A woman is only able to have eggs that are going to be viable up to the age of about 45, at the very best 50. So for her lifetime, her ability to reproduce is very limited. And a woman's highest value is between the ages of, let's say, 25 and 35. Or it can even be removed to 21 and maybe 30 to 35. That's the period in which a woman knows that she can really affect men sexually. After that, the weight comes on and age comes in, and she feels like if life is slipping away. However, a man can be 60 and actively date anyone that disagrees with what I'm saying. We are actually having a live, so that it's not a video, so you can state your disagreement and let me see what you disagree with, so you can clear it up one time, because I'm seeing some sad and angry faces going up. So don't be angry, just discuss it. Let's have a conversation. So as I was saying, so what is happening is that a man can be 60 years old and actually be healthy and look great, and he would be looked at as a guy who is a distinguished gentleman. In fact, a guy who is 50 years old, 55, that is in peak condition and looks fantastic, can actually be more sexually attractive to women of all ages than a man who is 30 and in his best shape, because he's superior to a younger guy. He has something that younger guy does not have. See? So, and a man can actually have children throughout his entire lifetime if he's taking care of his body. A man can have sex and have babies with as much as his physical body would allow him to have sex on a daily basis with women. And women could actually only have one child every 9 months, at average. Sometimes a twin or whatever, but you get my point. And the reason women must submit is because we are now entering a phase where men are retaliating now. So what is going to happen is makeup is no longer going to help women anymore. So when a woman put on makeup, it's when her confidence is at its peak. Men are no longer going to allow makeup to be what leads them. Most women aren't on YouTube. So I know for a fact what I'm saying here now, thanks Lydia. I know for a fact what I'm saying here now is shocking a lot of women because they aren't on YouTube and they don't know what is actually happening. 79% of the people on YouTube are males. I've done my homework, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just here to speak. 79%. Men are following the men going their own way movement, MGTOW. Men are following the red pill movement. Men are following PUAs, which is professional dating coaches. And men are following strategies how to date women, multiple women at the same time. So, okay, Lydia, but this is not about who uses makeup, but I get you. So women aren't aware of what is actually coming, what is actually happening. And when you go and you look at the following of these guys who are speaking, they are in the thousands and hundreds of thousands of males worldwide. It's a big business now, actually. You see? So women are no longer going to get men to marry them easily. Because men are not retaliating, because men have actually loved women. And what happened is that let me tell you guys what has happened. Alana, I get what you're saying, but I'm still going to leave the word as must, because it's like submission. When women hear submission, they frown against it. Fine, that's her. There are women who actually understand that they have to, and they have no problem in relationships. So if the word sounds too harsh, don't do it, and face the consequences of what is going to happen. But I'm not the kind of guy that is going to sugarcoat a word because it affects a woman's emotions. No. Women must submit or face the consequences of what men are going to do to them. The only women who are going to get away from what men are planning to do and has started already are the ones who are submitting. It's in long and short, that's the bottom line of the situation. If you don't submit and let this man feel that you respect him, he's going to pretend he's foolish, and after 2-3 children, you're going to get cheated on. You're going to be all in your emotions. He's going to leave you. All right? He's going to leave you out of shape, no longer young. And when you in your feelings for the rest of your life, trying to take him to court and whatever, while you think you are attacking him by carrying him to court and whatever, he is with somebody younger, sexier, and better in his mind. That's the reality. So you can let the word must affect you if you want. Don't do it, and see what is the consequences of inaction. That's the bottom line of what's going to happen. Men are retaliating, and they have started. Men are going into relationships with women right now who they know they're not going to stay with. Okay? They know that. But what they're doing, and what happens is that a man is a one-dimensional person. He's logical. And believe it or not, a man could actually think he wants to marry you and everything. He's going to feel it, go through all the emotions, because he can't do 2 emotions or feel 2 different things at the same time. Ask any man if he doesn't think like I'm speaking with a woman, and as soon as he have had sex with her or got an orgasm, he doesn't even want her he wish he could just disappear from in front of him. However she get to go home, just go, disappear. But 5 minutes or an hour ago, he would have driven across the Atlantic for her. And as soon as he got an orgasm, just disappear. I even want to drop you home 2 meters away. He even want to walk out the road. Why? Because he never respected her. She has no value to him. She didn't bring any value except for physical. Ask any man on this line here right now if what I just described has not happened and he did not do that at some point with a woman. And I'm telling you, men are retaliating full force right now. They know what attracts you guys. We know what's going to keep you interested, and we're going to play the field. And when we are tired, we're going to leave you, or we're going to make you think you're leaving us, and you're going to want to end the relationship, and we are going to find somebody else next week. You can't do that. You have to disconnect emotionally and take a breather and then go into something new emotionally. Most women. Men will disconnect, cut you off, and he's going to find someone new in the morning, because before he actually ended that relationship, actually, he was already disconnected. And there are women now, if they are honest, who is dating men, and they can feel that he's disconnected already from that relationship. But they're there. He's just there and biding time. Oh, so as I said earlier, you came on late. You asked the exact question I said earlier. You see, guys? You asked the exact question I said earlier, that women have a tendency to ask if any man should let them lead. Or, as you are asking here, should women submit to men who cannot lead? And my answer to that was, most women, you're only asking that question because of women's hypergamy. All women think that they should submit to a man who can lead them. But the truth and the fact is, most men don't want to lead most of the women out there. They are not valuable to any man that he would even be motivated to lead them. And let me explain further. When a man meets a woman who has value and substance, if he's the biggest player, you name it, he will pause whatever he's doing and he will give this woman his full attention because she's valuable to him, and he's going to make a decision logically and say, I good. I done. I hang up my guns. Next part of life. And most women who ask questions like that, and I'm not saying you, don't even understand what it's like to be a woman. And let me give an example. Most of the women that have had issues with in relationship, in fact, I'm thinking now, there is not a single woman that I have had to discuss relationship issues with who has kept themselves in shape. Because a man can understand. Look at Angela Bassett in her 60s, for example. I kid you not. Most men will rather date Angela Bassett in her 60s than most young girls out here in the 20s. Because she gives a regalness about her that most women don't have because she's older. So when a woman is older and looks like that, it's equivalent to when a man is older and looks in fantastic shape. Guys, I'm 40 and I walk through a gym every day, and most of the guys in the gym is nowhere near physically fit as I am. And I'm not liked because I'm just in shape. Why would that be? When everybody can look, people are just not taking care of themselves, and women especially must understand that a huge part of what a man seeks in a relationship with her is how she looks. That's what keeps him attractive and stimulated, is how you look. And most women who I have had conversations with about relationships and what they are bringing to the table or not bringing to the table aren't in shape. That's the first big problem. that is happening in relationships. They aren't keeping themselves in shape. So I don't know. I have 13 or 14 people I talk to right now, real couples, and none of the women are in shape. And I can think about 3 or 4 of the men who are in top shape. And yet they have a problem. And the men are saying, when I met her, she was not looking like that. I have interacted with a couple as well, where the husband is literally begging her to go outside and just walk around the block. At least if you don't get in shape, he wants to see you trying. And she is saying to him, I can't because I have to see what wears and kitchen and clean and whatever. And he's saying, that's not true. I have told you I will do that and I will do it. You just go and walk. And she hasn't done it up to now. Woman's hypergamy. And I'm telling you guys as women, you don't have to listen. Just take, you women, most of you on this line aren't on YouTube on a daily basis. Men are 80%, 79% actually, of YouTube followers are men. Just go on YouTube and look at what is happening there. And you see how many men are coaching men how to play with women and women's hypergamy because of women not loving men. So let me tell you what has happened. Men who are actually leaders have decided to love women. And in doing so, they have decided to agree to a number of things. Who cleans, who washes, who does what. And these women have started to get depolarized by men. So this is the other side of the reason why women must submit. Because when women don't submit, they are jeopardizing their partner, his testosterone levels, and his testosterone levels is being low. A woman senses a man with high testosterone levels. That's part of what happens when she can't control why she likes him. And what happens is when a woman is not willing to submit, then it means that she's willing to lead, because there's no equal relationship. If a relationship is equal, actually I'm lying. There's about 10% of relationships that are actually depolarized, where the woman actually loves the man, really loves her husband, not going to really cheat on him at all. He's not going to cheat on her, but they have sex once a month, if at all. Because you can love somebody and not be attracted to them. Likewise, or you can be attracted to someone and not love them. In fact, men can do that. Most women can't. A man could actually just sleep with somebody he really doesn't like. He don't have to like her at all and sleep with her. Women, on the other hand, most women must at least like you to have sex with you. And when a woman is deciding not to Yes, Chris, that's why men who are married leave and would go and find younger ladies. Not because he doesn't love his wife, is that she has become so masculine. She feels like she's challenging him constantly because he's feeding her masculine energy, clashing with his. And so, you see the topic, happy wife, happy life, is the most detrimental statement that could be made in a relationship. Because a woman can't be happy if her husband isn't happy. But if a woman is happy, her husband is happy. But to get her husband happy, she needs to ensure that he is. I hope you understand what I just said. A woman can't be happy if her husband is happy. A woman can't be happy, if her husband is not happy. But a man could be happy if his wife is happy. But for a man to be happy, his woman has to make sure he is happy. And so in saying that is, what is happening is that in relationships, based on how women are speaking to men, for example, could you take out the garbage? It's not a statement a woman should ever make to a man. It should be would you. Now, women I've heard say that men are so sensitive and they have to pamper them like, you report like they're children or whatever. I can give equal scenarios with women that show how sensitive women are to words as well. It's based on culture and how you've been brought up. When men are growing up, all they hear is, you can't do that, I bet you can't do that, though. I bet you can't do that, though. So when a woman says, could you? It subconsciously activates part of a challenging part of a man's mind, and he feels, so all of you know it. You all, especially women, have said it. When I ask him to do something, he doesn't do it right away. Two things. You're saying could you instead of would you. And the other thing is, why does he have to do it right away? Because you say do it. And that's part of the problem. Women have the tendency to think that because I say do it, he should get up now and do it. No. If you want a man to activate, to do something for you, you have to make him feel worthy. And that when you do it, you're happy. Anytime he feels like you're challenging him to do it, he's going to not do it. He's going to take longer. That's what happens in relationships. Every relationship I've ever spoke to in a couple, I've heard that issue. Everyone. And they don't know that just simply how you ask him. If a woman says, would you take out the garbage? And if she wants to even sweeten the pie, she can say, I just appreciate when you take out the garbage. It makes me know that you care about how I feel. She never has to ask him to take out the garbage again. The other thing is, when a man makes a mistake, let's say he forgets his passport at home, every time they're traveling, she's going to remind him about that passport. You don't have to. That's something that really aggravates men. And so men have a problem with unsolicited advice. He didn't ask you for directions. If you want to be able to support him with direction, just simply say, babe, if you need my help, I'm here. That's all. He doesn't need you to say you're going the wrong way. Where you going? You're stupid or what? I tell you, you don't know where you're going. He's already driving in traffic. His testosterone levels are dropping because he's in traffic. He's stressed. And you are saying that to him. He's going to argue because he's going to go into his feminine side because his estrogen level is now raising. And when a man is more on his feminine side, not his masculine, not toxic masculinity, so they have that wrong. When a man is more on his feminine side is when he wants to show how masculine he is because he's not in his masculine from a hormonal standpoint. So his body has to react to try to get masculine back. So he's going to be attacking and he's going to be most forceful because he's on his feminine side. His estrogen level is high. So when he's challenged, his testosterone level goes right up. And then it's converted into estrogen because he can't display how he feels. See? Lydia, I saw what you just posted, and again, I didn't say all women. I said most women. There are no absolutes. So yes, there are women who can do it. But the majority of women cannot do it. Conversely, men, all men, or most men, as I say, will be able to sleep with a woman even if he doesn't like her and feels nothing to her. But there are some who cannot do that. They must at least like you. So there are no absolutes, but the majority, in the high percentages like 97 and 95 and thing, will not be able to do it. So my video tonight, when I said, my live tonight when I'm saying women must, is that there is no other choice at this point than women just simply accepting that they are women and that the man is superior, but that doesn't make them inferior. It makes them just inferior to him, but not inferior. That he is not better or he's not a better person, but he's just superior in characteristics. And he's built to lead and to penetrate. You are not. And it's for this reason why when a man meets a woman, and she says, I'm bisexual, or I slept with a woman, he is not going, most men are not going to say, well, that's a deal breaker. For a lot of men, it's actually going to be sweetening the pot. But most women, if they meet a guy, and again, I see it all the time, if they meet a guy who says on a date, especially early on, I've slept with a man or two, it's almost a deal breaker. Because she knows deep down in her core that that man is built to penetrate her and the world. And that is why I'm going to do a video soon to say that solely or mainly the responsibility is on the men. Men are the reason all what is happening right now is happening. Because a man is supposed to penetrate his wife and life. In other words, he's not supposed to be getting jealous. He's not supposed to be getting angry. A man should almost never get in an argument with a woman, especially. He should never get in an argument with a woman. It is for this reason why you see a man's bond, a man's word is his bonds. Or all I have is my word. You don't hear women saying that. When women lie or when women say something and do something different after, they are not lying. And this was very painful and surprising for me. When I saw this and I realized this and I heard this for the first time and I had to go in deeper, is why I said earlier that when a woman says she loves you, she's just simply saying, I love you now. That's how I feel right now. Women don't love men. Most women don't love men. They love how men make them feel. The divorce rate and reason shows exactly that. It's scientific. It's a fact. Most women are attracted to men based on how he makes them feel and not because they actually love him. If a man is not in his masculine frame, which is his mental state, his woman is going to get depolarized. This is why women test men all the time. And what the POAs and the dating coaches call it is a shit test. There's nothing women can do to stop testing men. Men test women too, but not as much as women test men. Women test men all the time. Let me give an example. There's an argument in the kitchen, and sometimes it's even about cheating or being late or whatever. You have seen it in videos, and it has happened to some of you all in relationships. And if that man is not able to remove that woman's stress in a matter of 5 to 10 seconds, he has already failed. When she's reacting, he is not supposed to react. Guys, listen, I have been in one of the most amazing relationships in my life. And when I look back now and I see how I reacted, it makes me sad because I was never supposed to react the way I acted. And it was so significant that I started to feel it affecting how she responded to me sexually. And I couldn't understand why. We tried to figure out all the reasons why. Now I know why and what happened. Men are not supposed to be arguing because she's arguing. She is emotional. She's not over emotional either. In fact, there's a direct link between how emotional a woman is and how sexy or sexual she's going to be. So if you look at most women who are more combative, they are also equally more sexual. What a man needs to understand is, does he have the ability to stabilize her or to match her emotional levels? So she's normally a hotter woman. And a hotter woman is a woman that is either that eats a lot of spicy food or is of a higher energy level. Most likely they come as red women or Spanish women. And that's why you see a lot of memes and stuff about red woman, this and that, whatever, because naturally in their DNA coding, they are more spicy and more, I won't say aggressive, but more combative. Their blood is closer to their skin. They're easily triggered more. And so those are the ways you can test it. Likewise, a man, you can know a man's temperance by what he eats. In other words, if he's eating a lot of pepper and spicy foods or not. There are other things that you can look at: his eyes, jawbones, chin, his fingers. Just like a woman as well, you can know by fingers and toes, the length of which finger and stuff. All those are characteristics that tells you. But one of the easiest ways to know is by what the person eats and the ethnic background. So all those are characteristics. A man is supposed to penetrate the world, and so he's supposed to diffuse it. So what we see on television is a lot of times you go and you see an argument, and the guy would pull her in, and he would say something, and he would see she's gradually changing, and she's cooling down, and then another hormone kicks in. One moves out, another one kicks in, and then they start to have sex, and the sex is more aggressive than what normally would happen in the bedroom or on a normal day. The reason for that is just like what happens with a man. When he's challenged in an argument, his testosterone levels screams and peaks, and then it's converted to estrogen. So he buffs up like a gorilla in a jungle, and then it converts to estrogen, and what comes out of his mouth and his reaction is more feminine. When a woman is stressed and she gets in a point to argue, her testosterone level raises. And if that man is not able to diffuse her, which he's supposed to be able to, what happens is she starts to display mannerism that is more manly by action, but it's because she's a woman is why she's now lashing out like that. So the opposite actually happens. However, if he's able to diffuse her, testosterone levels remain, and then her estrogen level comes up because she feels polarized again. And when a woman has high testosterone, high oxytocin, and high estrogen, which is what happens to a woman when she is just after her period, which is the second phase of her cycle, where she wants pair bonding time, where she wants to have a lot of sex and have a partner close by. That same hormonal chemistry is what happens at that point in time. And so, boom, you have intense sex, powerful orgasms, and she now, when she gets an orgasm, her hormones release. Just by touching a man, he gets hot. Yes, Ilidia, because a man is sexual by nature, so, and he's logical. So his body is designed. So when you touch him, he's only going to be thinking about sex. So his amygdala is going to send blood, because that's the executive of his brain, and is going to send blood to an area because a touch will signal sex. He can't assess in his mind, he's touching me, maybe she likes me, maybe she doesn't, maybe she's being friendly. Men can't do that. Our brain works like a filing cabinet, where we have to open a drawer, pull out a file, close a drawer, and open another drawer, and put the file back in another drawer. A woman is like a computer, so she can have a number of different apps open at the same time, because she has larger quadrants of a brain available to her, and she uses 3 dimensions to her is 1. So she uses 3 to 1, and her 3 are twice the size of his. So she's almost using 6 to 1 then. You see? because each is twice the size. Each quadrant is twice the size of his, and she's using all three at the same time. So she's able to do a whole lot more. And that's why a man's memory is never as good as a woman's as well, because she links memory to emotions. Neither one is more intelligent. So that's the answer. I really hope that for you guys who came on tonight can see that my reason for saying she must submit is not to be combative, but is to give a clearer understanding that men are single dimension. And now because men are thinking about playing with women's mind, that's the agenda, that's the topic, that's discussion. Check the records, check the divorce rates. Women don't want to stay married to men because men are not investing in them emotionally, because all men are learning, and every time a man ends in a breakup, he hits YouTube, and these red pills, PUA guys and Motown guys are just simply saying either go your own way, leave them alone and forget them, play with them. This is how you pull them, and don't ever have more than one, because it will allow you to not be able to be invested fully in one, or just be an asshole, just be a fool with them. They would love you, because that's what actually happens. Women are more engaged to men to whose feelings they are unsure. It's a scientific fact. So that's why a woman would not be able to leave a man easily when she gets in a domestic violent squabble with her partner. But if you ask every woman before, will you stay if a man beats you? Oh, no, I'm not staying, you're mad or whatever. But when it actually happens, she doesn't think the same way, because she's engaged, negatively or positively. As long as she's engaged, she's not able to just simply walk away. And so, having said that, the reason men are now walking away from women is when men are actually good men, most men, when they're actually just good men, faithful, working 2 jobs, coming home, saying I love you, and the relationship is comfortable and nice, for a lot of women, it's too comfortable. And what happens when men are too nice, and I know most of you women are going to say you disagree, that's okay. Again, it's a scientific fact. And if you go and you look at Maury and you look at Jerry Springer, and you look at all of these, Red Table, you look at Culture, you just name the show, you look at relationship talks, and you see what happens. As long as a woman isn't feeling emotionally engaged, positively or negatively, she is going to be depolarized, find a relationship boring, and she's not going to be attracted to that man. She can really love him, and if she decides to stay, that relationship is not going to have much sex, because there is no attraction. She's going to see other men outside there and go, my God, he looks good. Doesn't want to sleep with him, but if she could get a chance to sleep with him, the sex is going to be much better than what she has at home. But because she's emotionally engaged, again, from a different level, from a family level, she's going to stay, but the sex is not going to be good as if she gets that man to have sex with. See? And a lot of times women put on weight as well, because that happens, and they no longer feel the need to be attractive to the partner, and he sees that she's no longer attractive to him. That's another way the relationship also ends. So women must understand that aspect of what happens within their own minds and work against it, because men are now realizing that it doesn't make any sense if we give women our best. They are not going to be faithful. They're going to leave us. And they don't want to risk waking up a morning just being a good man and you say, I don't want this anymore. And let's be fair, we have seen it all happen. You know? Okay, Julia, good night. I know you're very old and you need to get your night's rest. Yeah, so if there is nothing else to say, no more questions, if you have anything to ask, I'm going to just hold on for 60 seconds and, just see if anybody has anything to say. But all I'm telling women who are on, please understand that the only hope that you really have is to love men and just, I'm not saying be a fool. I'm not saying to do anything he said just because that's another thing. A man doesn't want a bubbly. He wants a partner, but he doesn't want to feel challenged. Just change your words in how you're saying things to him. And it's better if you start by saying, for example, babes, if you start a question like that, it's already diffusing him. So most times a woman says something, oh, let me say this. A lot of men's problem is that they feel like if the person is like their mother. What actually happens there is that a mother is one who always wants to change and correct something that he's doing. And many times a guy would be out in public and a woman would say, you say the wrong word. Or, I mean, I for one would appreciate my partner telling me something, but she has to know when, how, why, and stuff. Telling a man something in front of another guy or a couple of people is a no-no. Don't try to correct him in front of people. That's a bad thing. Some women can't help themselves. And if they're together as well and he says something wrong, it's okay to correct him, but not every time. Just let something pass sometimes because he feels like, oh God, I can't make a mistake. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. And if you have a problem, don't carry it to him. The best thing you can do as a woman is to choose what time to tell him. If you're not feeling happy about something, then don't go and tell him at that point in time because he's reading your energy or not being happy. Always try to get him to change something when you are feeling good, when you are feeling in a happy mood. It's going to diffuse him. And always try to start your thing with babes or hun, or always open it with maybe, I really appreciate you. It diffuses his instant feeling of having to defend himself. When you're coming to say something, he gets defensive. And once he gets defensive, what happens is that his emotional side is switched off. Blood again rushes to that part of his brain, that central executive that is going to analyze. And he feels almost like, and you can feel he almost feels like if he's not even there. It's because he has to disconnect from his emotional to analyze what is being said because he's listening. You see? So those are just some things that women need to just make an adjustment. Those little adjustments could save relationships. Because if a man comes to tell you, making him feel like his mother, he's already depolarized. He doesn't see you as sexy. And that's a problem. Yeah, Lydia, that's basically the thing. Never belittle a man, because if a man feels like he feels belittled, what happens is that his testosterone levels also drop. One of the things women must always know is that never let your partner's testosterone levels drop. Never make him feel unsure. Because what happens when you do that is it affects you. You need his testosterone to feel his testosterone, which comes across to you as his alphaness or his manliness. And when your partner is not demonstrating, doesn't feel like he's manly, because he's not confident because you have done something, and let me make no mistake about it, most women diffuse their husbands by making him not be or feel manly or confident. And when that happens, is it makes you feel less attracted to him and depolarizes the relationship. That's why I said happy wife is not happy life. Happy husband. Because most times when a husband is doing all he can to make his wife happy, it diffuses her because she does not want him to be a yes man. But if your wife is making her husband feel, guys, this was supposed to be said tomorrow in gender intelligence, but I'll say it tonight. A man wants to be accepted, appreciated, and trusted. That's it. When he gets that, he feels respected. When he feels respected, he interprets that as love. Let me say it again. A man wants to feel appreciated, to know that he's not perfect, but you still want him. A man wants to feel accepted, to understand that he doesn't have to feel less than, that you know his flaws, but you love him anyway. And he wants to feel trusted. He wants to be able to know that you can trust him to lead. This is the biggest reason men don't lead, because they don't feel the woman trusts him to lead. And he doesn't want to get in an argument every time when he's trying to lead. So he gives up the ghost in trying to lead. And then most women come back and say he doesn't lead. He doesn't want to lead, or he's not motivated to. If a man is not feeling motivated, vasopressin is not going to be activated in his mind, his brain, and therefore, if vasopressin is not activated, he is not going to want to do anything to make you happy. That is why I said a happy husband is a happy home. It's not a masculine and feminine thing. It's how we are made. It's how we work, how our brains function. The world is lying to women and giving them a false sense of understanding of what relationships are about or should be. A woman, on the other hand, needs to feel respected. You hear it all the time, you see it. She needs to feel respected, she needs to feel cherished or loved, and she needs to feel cared for and protected. When a woman feels those things, she feels she is accepted and loved. A woman's part in a relationship is based on love. That is why you see a woman's intuition. Whenever you hear a woman say woman's intuition, it's always about something with regards to her partner. Every single time it's about love and her partner. She never uses woman's intuition to deal with anything outside of feeling challenged by another woman for her partner, or her partner cheating. So a woman is all built about love. That's why scripture, whether you believe it or not, scripture at least says her desire will be to him. That's how she loves. That's why also you never saw in scripture, for those who believe scripture, that you see she was never told to love any husband, any man. I can't offhand remember any scripture where I've seen a woman stating a woman loved her husband. She loved him. I don't think I've ever seen it. I'll go and look. If it is there, it's very limited. However, I've seen many times he loved her. I've seen many times where men are told to love, because men are not deciding to love based on emotions or how he feels, but it's a decision and a choice he can make to commit. You see? So when a woman feels loved, she gives in a certain way. That's why they explain how love operates. It's not kind, it's not boastful or whatever. What it simply means is submission. So when she feels love, what she gives back is that submission. But men aren't feeling loved, and so they're not willing to lead women. It's a sad reality. The only hope women have now in today's society is to submit. I will sit on Facebook and on Instagram, and I will look at all the women who post relationships and how happy they are, and then I'll wait and see 6 months, 6 years, what happens. They stop posting anything at all, or then they just post pictures with themselves, or they start to post pictures about how bad men are, and independent women, and don't understand, don't have a clue. I had bad relationships as well, and I decided to find out. And now by the grace of God, I'm able to now help people understand better. So, guys, I've said a whole lot more. I appreciate the fact that you all were very open and you give your comments. I'm amazed that I didn't see women oppose the things I say, because when I say something, everybody attacks. And now where women have the time, the opportunity to actually respond, I didn't feel attacked tonight, but maybe next time, because I really wanted to see women's views and bring it here where I could speak on it as it comes out. If anybody also wants to have a point or oppose something I said, I'm open to doing a live with that person and have us actually have the discussion openly to ratify whatever I didn't say properly. All right? So we'll be back here most likely next Monday. I can probably make it a every Monday thing. I'm also doing a live every Friday night with Erica every Friday at 9 p.m. and I'm on an international network tomorrow discussing relationships and gender intelligence and what people don't understand about relationships both at home and in the workplace. All right, so thank you for viewing. You can send me direct comments based on anything you want to know further that you didn't want to ask here directly in public for everyone to see. And we will continue. Next week we will talk about men. I think it's fair that next week we will say why men should lead in to balance of why women should submit. All right, so bye for now and see you guys soon.